Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I wanted to talk about Daryl Dixon's Season 2 premiere. And yeah, I want to get into some new details because the premiere is actually happening in 4 days. And we got some new information on what to expect for the premiere here. So I want to talk about some of the new details here and get into all of that. I should actually clarify that this isn't going to be the actual premiere where we can all watch it. This is going to be the premiere at the Tribecca Festival. But the reason why this is very significant is because it's been very, very quiet with this show. And I think it's because they've been waiting for this premiere to happen, and then afterwards we'll get a release date, probably a trailer, a bunch of new information, maybe even like promotional artwork and everything for this show, because again, it's been very quiet for like 2.5 months or something like that. Like it's been like, yeah, there hasn't been a lot of info here. So yeah, I want to break down all the new details here, talk about this, because this is going to be the next show here, airing apparently this summer, but I think it's going to be about 3 months away still, but who knows, maybe it's next month, I have no idea, right? So obviously, before going any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. And also, I do just want to say that I apologize for the audio quality. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to sound. I have my air conditioner in right now, and if people are complaining about it where it is like very noticeable, then I definitely will shut it off. I'm going to do my best to sort of, get rid of the sound and whatnot, but if it is very noticeable and a lot of people are complaining about it, then I will just shut it off for while I'm recording. I just wanted to test it out with this video and just see sort of how everyone's sort of reacting to it and whatnot. And so, yeah, if there's a buzzing or anything like that, that's why. And also, today is my birthday, so, a couple of years ago, I used to always do like birthday streams and stuff. So I haven't done one in a while. So I do think later on today, I am going to be doing a birthday stream here on a channel here. So yeah, just I'm not entirely sure what time yet. It'll probably be in a few hours or something like that, but I definitely will be doing that later on today. And yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to actually doing like an actual birthday stream and talking with you guys on here, because I usually do stream on Twitch. I never really stream on YouTube. So I'm going to be streaming here, talking with you guys about a bunch of stuff. And yeah, that should be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'll see you guys later, but let's actually get into what I want to talk about here, and that is Daryl Dixon's premiere, the season 2 premiere here. So again, there's a lot of mystery with this premiere because things have just been very quiet, and more specifically, it's with the release date. Like if we had a release date and we knew when the show was coming out, then we would just all kind of be waiting and sort of expecting, I guess news to come out a certain distance away from that premiere. But there's not an actual premiere right now. And, obviously they said this summer, but we know now that they have 2 shows airing throughout the summer during when The Walking Dead actually airs. So it's a little confusing as to, I guess where Daryl Dixon's even going to fit in, right? Like they have Interview with the Vampire airing right now until the end of June. And then 2 or 3 weeks later is Snowpiercer, the very final season, airing July 21st. They just announced this too recently and showed off a trailer and all of that. That's going to be going all the way until I think mid to late September. So I'm just like, I guess they could air it afterwards or before, but again, The Walking Dead, especially The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, and just Walking Dead in general, for AMC is like their big show. They're never going to put it second to another show. They're never going to do that. So they could air it for like 2 or 3 weeks in the summer, but that just doesn't seem like something that they would probably do. So my guess is this has been pushed off until late September. It's going to be like September 29th, I think was the original premiere date that I said, or like October 6th. It's around there anyways, I think is when it's going to come out. I think that they are going to give us a trailer though, and I think this is all going to happen after the Tribecca Festival. We'll get a trailer, an actual release date, and again, it's going to seem like so long away because that is technically like 4 months away or 3.5 months away, but like Comic-Con is before that. They do start to do a lot of promotion, and that's actually when The Walking Dead usually always aired, right? Like for years now, at this point here, once it hit June, we would start to get into the time where they would start to promote it a little bit more for Comic-Con, right? Like an official trailer and everything, like all the new character portraits and all of that, right? Like they would actually start to release a lot of that at the end of June or at some point early June, going into July, sort of hyping up, I guess just July in general for Comic-Con. And then, afterwards for August and September, it's just a lot of promotion for the show's premiere in early October. So, they could be going back to that here with Daryl Dixon. It really does kind of feel like it because, it's summer basically right now and we have no release date. I don't see this show dropping next month or the month after, but maybe it actually is possible. Again, we're going to get clarification here this Saturday. I'm very certain of it. If there's no information there, maybe it's going to happen on Monday, right? Like maybe they don't want to release news on a Saturday. So we'll have to wait and see. But the Tribecca Festival, The Daryl Dixon season 2 premiere is airing there this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe is the time, because it's in New York, right? So I think that it's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern is when people will be watching the episode. There's going to be a panel as well. Norman Reedus, I believe, is going to be there, and a lot of others. So they're going to be discussing, obviously, season 2. So expect a lot of videos breaking down all the new information that we learned there. I'll definitely be watching that, and yeah, I'll break down all the new details and all of that. We're going to get a lot of info on episode 1. There's probably going to be an explosion of news. That's sort of what I expect. I think that's why they've been waiting for so long. I think it's because they know that this premiere is supposed to be happening. And I've also heard that something was supposed to come out. Like, I actually heard that, but I've seen a lot of other people say the same thing over the last couple of weeks, and nothing has ever really come out. So I don't really know what to believe at this point. I'm just kind of like, well, it'll come out when it's coming out, and I'm just expecting, after the Tribecca Festival, maybe beforehand, something like that. I mean, I could definitely see it dropping at some point there. Plot details are going to be a big thing. So the one thing that will definitely happen this Saturday is there's probably going to be a bunch of plot details for episode 1. There's going to be spoilers everywhere. People might be taking screenshots or I guess photos and all of that. There's going to be a lot of leaks and stuff like that. I definitely won't be covering any of that because I never do, right? I only ever cover news if they ever talk about it in articles and stuff like that. If there's just little things like that here and there, but actual footage that has been spoiled and leaked online, I'm just no, I'm not going there, right? So, in terms of all of that, there's going to be a lot of early reviews. People are going to be posting reviews of this very first episode here. So we'll break all that down, break down some of the new plot details that get revealed, and it's gonna be a lot of fun because I do wonder if Daryl and Carol are gonna reunite in the first episode. I feel like based off of some of the reviews, we could get that impression right away, right? At the very end, if they reunite, or if at the very end Carol arrives in France, or how it's gonna happen, right? I feel like we're gonna learn a lot of new details here, and that's why I don't really think there's a way that we can really get away from it. And I'm just happy to get a lot of new clarification here. The release date is going to be something that will be cleared up right away. We'll get a very specific release date. I'm very excited for this festival, to be honest, because it's honestly been a really long time since an episode has really premiered at a festival like this, when there's been no news beforehand and we're waiting for new details. This kind of feels like Comic-Con, though at Comic-Con obviously they talk about the other shows and sometimes they'll announce other spin-offs, this and that. For this, it's just Daryl Dixon, so it's kind of a smaller version of Comic-Con, but it's still it's exciting, right? So we're going to learn a lot of new details there. I hope someone in the audience asks Norman Reedus, have you seen The Ones Who Live? Would you want to reunite with Andrew Lincoln and all of that? Or if there's been some talk of any of that, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things like that definitely would be really cool to hear about. I do wonder who else will be there. I know Norman Reedus is supposed to be there. I'm sure the showrunner, and some of the producers, executive producers and all that could be there. Gimple, I'm guessing, might be there. He's usually there, but we'll have to wait and see. And in terms of predictions for episode 1, because obviously afterwards we're going to get a lot of, early reviews, and there's going to be some details of the plot that come out because it always happens like that. So beforehand, without having seen any of that, none of the spoilers, anything, to talk about some predictions that I have, I think that some of the Variant Walker stuff will probably be introduced. I feel like this episode is going to be a really big, exciting episode, because episode 1 of Daryl Dixon really hyped up a lot of people. And when you really look at all 3 episodes all 3 premiere episodes anyways of the Walking Dead spinoffs, the new spinoffs anyways, right? Dead City, that premiere definitely was the lowest premiere in terms of excitement and all of that, but it was exciting because it introduced us to this whole new world, right? It was the first time we saw the spinoffs of that quality, and to see the characters in New York City and all of that, it was just so different, so just, creatively fascinating to watch, because it was just something that was it just felt special. Right. And it was different for us fans watching The Walking Dead and just seeing something of that quality. So I think that for Daryl Dixon, they also did that. Every spinoff has felt like that, going into it. It's felt different in some way, even though it's not really that different in terms of the newer quality here, the newer high quality. But it has felt different. And you look at Daryl Dixon, there was a lot of excitement there, even though it was throughout that whole episode, it wasn't like a lot happened, but it was different exploring France and seeing Daryl's reaction to everything. And then the very, very end, obviously, with the Variant Walker stuff and the research, we didn't really see the Variant Walkers there, but it was just, the talk about all this research. We saw the ship and all of that, so obviously that was very exciting. And then, The Ones Who Live, that premiere was amazing, ended with that reunion. So I expect season 2's premiere to be very similar, to be, a really cool story, seeing Carol, try to find Daryl. Daryl might not be in the episode that much. Like, I think he's going to be, obviously, but I don't think he's going to be in the episode that much. And I think that it could end with Daryl and Carol finding each other. And I think that it makes a lot of sense for that to happen. That's sort of the cliffhanger, and we'll see, I guess, what happens going forward. Because you need that moment there where you're going to bring everyone in and, like, get everyone very excited about the story. So the premiere needs to be a big episode, and that's kind of what I'm expecting here. I'm really expecting a really good episode here where everyone watches it and it ends in a way where you're like, oh, I need to watch episode 2 like right now, right? And there's all this excitement. So 4 more days, that's it. 4 more days until this premiere, and we'll get a lot more information. And I really cannot wait. Like, I am going to be going back and watching the last 2 spinoffs. Like, I'll be watching Dead City and Daryl Dixon, because it's just been a while since I've watched both shows, and I really like the quality of both shows. And honestly, I really like the ending. I think that's one of the things with The Ones Who Live that makes it hard to rewatch, is that I don't like the ending that much. So it kind of hurts to rewatch it. But again, when Andrew Lincoln was talking about coming back and doing this and that and making the stories, more simpler and all of that, I think that it will make The Ones Who Live better to watch, because now I get why they ended a lot of that. It's because if Andrew Lincoln's going to come back to play Rick Grimes, he wants to do more of those smaller survival horror stories. A lot, just like what The Walking Dead used to be in the first couple of seasons. He wants to do more stories like that, not, so much of the big story here that we got with the CRM and all of that. So, if that was a creative decision made by him and I guess everyone else, obviously, then I guess I do overall support that, even though I was disappointed. An announcement of a new series and focusing more on survival horror and all of that, I'll definitely get excited about that, and I will look back at the CRM arc as, it'll be different. It won't be the excitement that I had. It would be different, but I would be like, all right, that was a cool arc that you kind of had there, and it built up to this really cool moment, and I can just kind of, move past that and just sort of focus on the new thing, right? So that's sort of, So expect some videos breaking down Dead City Season 1, Daryl Dixon Season 1, just like a video breaking down, the entire season, just a very big video, breaking down every little moment from all 6 episodes. It's probably going to be an hour long or something like that. I really want to go in depth in each season and just, talk about everything, because it's been a while, and I just miss living in that world. So yeah, expect some of that coming very soon. But yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.